Good morning. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all who have joined us today for this important occasion, the official presentation of the results of the 2025 Caribbean Examination Council's examinations. Allow me first to recognize the presence of our distinguished guest, the Acting Minister for Education, Sustainable Development, Innovation, Science, Technology, and Vocational Training, Dr. Pauline Antoine Prosper, our dedicated staff of the Assessment Unit and other staff members of the Ministry of Education, members of the viewing public, including our education officers, principals, teachers, students, and of course, our supportive parents. The gathering brings with it today a deep sense of joy and pride. These results represent not just grades on paper, but the culmination of man's, indeed years of hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. Today, our students and the parents, along with the schools, can celebrate achievements that reflected resilience, dedication, and the collective effort of all involved in the teaching and learning process. The results of national and regional examinations are always moments of anticipation and reflection. They allow us to take stock of where we are as a nation in education and to chart the course forward for continuous improvement. But above all, they give us an opportunity to pause and celebrate the success of our learners, their personal triumphs, their academic growth, and their demonstration of potential for future of our country. This morning's program will feature just two speakers. We'll begin with the Acting Minister for Education, Sustainable Development, Innovation, Science, Technology, and Vocational Training, Dr. Pauline Antoine Prosper, who will deliver a general overview of this year's performance and share with us the broader vision for advancing education success in St. Lucia. Following Dr. Prosper's remarks, I, as Acting Registrar of Examinations, will return to present the detailed statistical analysis of the results for CCSLC, CSEC, and CAPE examinations. Together, these results provide us with insight not only into the accomplishment of our students, but also into the areas that require strengthening, collaboration, innovation, and sustained effort from all stakeholders in education. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome to the podium as we invite Dr. Pauline Antoine Prosper to address us.
Thank you very much. Today, we present the results of the 2025 Caribbean Examination Council CXC assessments. The CCSLC, the CSEC, and the CAPE examinations. These results reflect the dedication of our students, teachers, and parents, and they give us a clear picture of where we are excelling and where we must focus more effort. At the CCSLC level, 217 students from 6 schools participated. Overall, 77% of candidates achieved passing grades, with English and Social Studies showing strong results. However, mathematics remains an area of concern. While many students reached the level of competence, too many remain at developing competence. This This is a signal to us that we must continue strengthening early numeracy and problem-solving skills. On a positive note, Spanish stood out with 100% pass rate, showing what can be achieved with the right support. Turning to the CSEC examinations, which remain the largest assessment, the nation achieved an overall pass rate of 78.05%, the highest in the past 5 years. English A continued its steady improvement with an 85% pass rate. This reflects stronger literacy instruction across our schools. By contrast, mathematics recorded a pass rate of just 42%, making it the lowest performing subject and an urgent national priority. Mathematics continues to challenge students not only in St. Lucia but across the region. But in St. Lucia, we are determined to strengthen teaching strategies, provide additional support, and to close the gap. Importantly, when compared to the regional average, St. Lucia outperformed the Caribbean in CSEC. Overall results, 78% versus 71%. In English A, 85% versus 80%. And even in mathematics, that we are lamenting our performance wasn't good, 42% versus 38%. While this relative strength is encouraging, we must not be satisfied until more of our students are excelling. At the Cape level, 225 students sat the examinations. St. Lucia recorded a remarkable overall pass rate of 96.8%, placing us 5th in the region. Therefore, Comprehensive Secondary School achieved near perfect results at 98.9%. While Sir Arthur Lewis Community College maintained strong performances with 94.8%. We're not biased here. Notably, St. Lucian students earned 100% pass rates in several key subjects, including communication studies, Caribbean studies, and literatures in English. These results reflect the readiness of our young people to compete globally. While our students and teachers can take pride in many successes, particularly in English and across Cape subjects, mathematics must remain our national focus. As a ministry, we reaffirm our commitment to provide the necessary resources, teacher training, and targeted interventions to ensure that every child can master both literacy and numeracy. We wish to commend the efforts of the Prime Minister, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, for his vision, his wisdom for education in St. Lucia, and to our Honorable Minister, Sean Edward, for the hard work and the commitment that he has given to education during his stint. We think of all the resources that have been given to education in the past 4 years. We think of CXC subjects in mathematics and English that have been paid by the government and the burden removed from the parents. We think of the work done in early childhood to build a foundation for our young children so that they can perform better at the higher levels. We think of the laptops that have been given to children to enable, especially the CXC students, to work on the SBAs, and scholarships for higher education and bursaries for our students. We commend the government for the tremendous effort and resources that have been put into education to ensure that our students can excel. To our students, congratulations for your efforts. I know you have worked very hard. To our teachers, the principals, the education officers, the parents, thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your hard work. Together, we will continue to raise the standard of education in St. Lucia if we work together towards a common goal. I thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Prosper, for that insightful overview and for so clearly highlighting both the achievements and the ongoing priorities of our education system. At this point, I want to now turn our attention to the detailed performance data for the 2025 Caribbean Examination Council assessments. As Acting Registrar of Examinations, it is my duty and privilege to present the statistical analysis of the results for Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence, CCSLC, the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE. The figures we are about to review not only give us a snapshot of this year's outcomes, but also help us to identify the trends, challenges, and opportunities for growth as we continue to build an education system that supports success for every learner. With that, let us now take a closer look at the results. I begin with CCSLC. CCSLC overview: 217 candidates across 6 schools sat the examinations for this program. The overall pass rate that the nation attained was 76.96%. And with that, we saw 100% pass rate in Spanish. So Spanish came out as our strength, as our strong area for this year's assessment. As we heard from Dr. Prosper earlier, we continue to lag behind in the area of mathematics. So mathematics and digital literacy were the 2 weak areas that we saw coming out of CCSLC for this year. In general, there were 7 subjects that students sat. These were English, French, integrated science, mathematics, social studies, digital literacy, and Spanish. Out of the 60 students who sat the English exam, 10 attained mastery, 42 competent, and 8 of them were at developing competence. French, we recognize that out of the 4 who wrote the French subject, only 3 attained competent and 1 at developing competence. Integrated science, we have 16 students sat this exam, 2 at master's level, at master level, 11 at competent, and 3 at developing competence. For mathematics, where we have our largest number of sitting, 75, only 4 students were able to attain a master level, and we have 45 at competence and 26 at developing competence. This really shows us that we need to put a lot more effort into our area of mathematics. For social studies, 48 students sat the exam, 8 attained at the level of master, 38 at competent, and we have 2 developing competence. Whereas digital literacy, we can see the dismal performance of digital literacy where no one was able to attain either master or competent. We have all 10 at developing competence. This gives us an indication that we need to give a little bit more focus and attention to this area, digital literacy. Spanish did absolutely well with 4 students sitting the exam and all 4 are at competent. So generally there were 217 students who sat the exam. There were 217 sittings, entries. Out of the 217 entries, 11.06% attained master level, 65.9% competent level, and 23.04% at the developing competence. This English language for CCSLC, we had an 87% pass rate with 10 mastery and 42 competent. For mathematics, it was at 65% for mastery, 45 competent, and 26 developing competence. When we compare this, we still see that mathematics is still trailing behind English language, and so we are thinking that it is important for us to put a little bit more effort into this subject, mathematics. And when we go across the examinations from CSEC to CAPE, we will recognize that mathematics is our sore point. I want to highlight one particular school, which is Patricia D. James Secondary School, which performed exceptionally well with 14 candidates entering the subjects, 1 attaining mastery and 13 attaining competence, achieving 100% pass rate. All right, that brings us to the end of CCSLC. We now move on to CSEC, which is our biggest examination. For subject entries for this year, we had 12,687 subject entries. We were able to attain a pass rate of an overall pass rate of 78.05. This is a commendable performance for St. Lucia, showing that over the years we have been having a steady increase, and this year has been our highest achievement for the past 5 years. I believe that this is a point for celebration. For English and math, when we compare our English and mathematics, English continues to show us a good level of improvement. In 2024, English was at 81.35, but this year we had an improvement to 85.14. Mathematics, however, we continue to struggle with mathematics. Our highest for the past 5 years has been 49.54. That was in 2021. We had a dip in 2022 with mathematics attaining 38.56. And then we saw a steady increase in 2023 to 42.3, another increase in 2024, 43.56. But this year we saw another slight decrease to 42.15. So mathematics remain our core concern when it comes to performance within the CSEC examination. This just shows you an overview comparing St. Lucia. Although we are still struggling in the areas of mathematics, but in comparison to the region, we realize that St. Lucia is still outperforming the region. However, we cannot be satisfied that we are outperforming the region but still attaining a low average of 42.05. So there is need for much more effort to be placed in the area of mathematics. So overall, St. Lucia, our overall performance for CSEC, we outperform the region. The region is approximately 71%, and St. Lucia is approximately 78%. For English language, the region is operating at 80%, and St. Lucia is at 85%. Whereas for mathematics, we see the region at around 38%, with St. Lucia at 42%. We want to say that although we are doing very well in comparison to the region, we still believe that there is still a lot room for improvement and achievements, especially in the area of mathematics. I just want to highlight that St. Lucia for this year, St. Lucia was able to top the region in the area of additional mathematics, attaining an average of 97.78%. I believe that this is a point for us to celebrate. We also shared first place in the subject areas of industrial technology, electrical and mechanical, as well as religious education, with these three subjects attaining 100% pass rate. But we were ranked 7th in the region for English A and 9th in the region for mathematics. With this year, I also believe that it is important for us to highlight some of our schools that showed significant improvement in their overall pass rate. I want to begin by highlighting St. Lucia TVET Institution, Stanley John Odlam School of Arts, Media and Design, with an increase of 21.2%, taking them to 60.91% for this year. Patricia D. James also had a double-digit increase of 14.2% increase, taking them to an overall performance of 56.95%. And I believe that our acting minister is going to be very happy to see that Choiseul Secondary had an improvement of 10.91% increase this year, taking them to 69.5%. And that takes us to the end of CSEC presentation. We now move on to our CAPE performance. CAPE performance, 225 students entered our CAPE exams for this year within units 1 and 2. Our national pass rate stands at 96.83, which is a significant achievement, placing St. Lucia 5th regionally. I believe that this is a point to celebrate. But one of the main aspects that I want to pull out of the CAPE performance this year was that our males outperform our females. Our male pass rate stands at 97.9% and our females pass rate at 96.1%. I believe that we need to give another round of applause to our males for that achievement for this year. In comparison to our two institutions that actually sat the CAPE examination, we have Sir Arthur Lewis Community College with an overall pass rate of 94.77% compared to Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary School at 98.89% for this year. This showed Sir Arthur Lewis showed a decrease of 1.35% from last year's performance of 96.12%, but Viewfort Comprehensive has shown an increase of 1.9%, taking them from 96.99% in 2024 to 98.89% in 2025. I believe that this is a point of celebration. I also want to highlight for Sir Arthur Lewis, they were able to attain a pass rate of 93.98% in Unit 1 and 96.46% in Unit 2. Compared to Viewfort Comprehensive, Viewfort Comprehensive attained a 98.54% pass rate in Unit 1 and a 99.55% pass rate in Unit 2. I believe that we need to recognize the great effort of Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary School. For our subjects, the lowest performing subjects for 2025 for CAPE, they were in Chemistry Unit 2, Law Unit 1, Mathematics Unit 2, and also Mathematics Unit 1. Just to capture that St. Lucia ranked 5th overall in the 2025 CAPE results. We also shared first place in several Unit 1 and 2 subjects, but I want to see for History Unit 2, St. Lucia sat at the top of the table regionally with for this year's exam. So I believe that this is a point of celebration. We also placed second in Physics Unit 1 and third in Economics Unit 2, History Unit 1, Sociology Unit 1, and Law Unit 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for just allowing us to highlight those strengths and weaknesses. So this year, we saw our strengths in CSEC English A, our CAPE performance, and our regional competitiveness. It shows that St. Lucia is ready to compete regionally. But our challenges still remain in the areas of mathematics and digital literacy, as we saw in CCSLC. The ministry continues to commit itself to targeted intervention to ensure that we see continued improvement and growth in our students. So at this point, I want to thank all our stakeholders, all our units that have played a very pivotal role. I want to take this time to really highlight our special education unit that is playing a very important role with our students with special needs. And most of our students who receive special needs, they continue to show very good level of success. And if it was not for the effort of special ed unit, we would not be able to see those type of results coming out at this year's performance. So I want to thank all parents, all students, all teachers, our education officers, our principals, and of course the staff of the assessment unit for the hard work that they put in place for last year to be able to achieve those results for 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I want to thank you very much.